Hi everyone. I have been away for about a week. I haven't been recording because I've been chilling. I had school going on, and then once I took my finals, I was like, I'm not doing anything. So I've been playing Call of Duty and Titanfall on the Xbox all week. But I've been paying attention to what's going on. And I'm about to talk about a couple things. So the first thing is, um, let me see. Okay, the first thing is a campaign called Bring Back Our Girls. And it started from Nigeria. What happened on April 14th? About 214, some odd 200 plus Nigerian schoolgirls were taken from their school, and the school was burned to the ground. And they haven't been given back to their parents, or they have reports are saying that they've been sold for like $12 to the inside of this terrorist group called Boko Haram. And they, it's like the slogan for their group means Western education is evil or something like that, or it's a devil or sinful or something. Basically, they don't want the kids getting education from like our type of education. So they don't want the girls to learn anything because they want them to stay the way they are, basically. So, just recently, the U.S. has decided to help with finding those children. And, yeah, so I'm going to say this. And you can hate me. But in helping these Nigerians find their daughters, the U.S. will probably gain something from that. And I'm not saying that we haven't been in Nigeria. We are currently there, and we have been present in the continent of Africa. Just in case y'all did not know, Africa is a continent with other countries. Nigeria is a country in Africa. Okay, there you go. So, and I'm not trying to play, but some people don't know that. Anyway. So yeah, the U.S. government has gotten involved with this whole movement to find the girls from Nigeria. Where is that? Next thing on the list, Julie Schnecker, or however you pronounce this lady name. I really don't care how to pronounce her name because she's crazy, literally crazy. So this woman, back in 2011, purchased a weapon. She had to wait 3 days for the weapon to be released to her. She goes back, pick up the weapon. She shot the son. She was taking the son from either karate or soccer or something like that. Anyways, some after school program they were involved in. Then she shoots him in the back of the head, like just wham. With the gun she purchased 3 days prior, right? That she had to wait for. So then she goes into the house, and she goes into the daughter's room, and the daughter is on the internet doing homework, and she just shoots this chick in the face, like, out of nothing. And her reason is because her children were mouth. Now, I'm all for punishing your children. Spare the rod, spoil the child. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. And I honestly believe in that. Because without discipline, and if you one of them people that don't beat your kids, don't come up on my channel telling me what to do with mine. The sun is going down outside, so the lighting in the house is going to fluctuate from time to time. See, because it's darker now. You know what I'm saying? But okay, we're going to work with it. Now, so Miss Julie, she is now on trial. She was married to her background. A little bit of background about her. She was a intel soldier. She was a 35 something in the army. I want to say she was a Sierra, but something is telling me that she might have been a November. However, oh, she was a linguist. She was a 35 papa. I think she was like a Russian linguist. And so she went to Germany, and while she was in Germany, she met her husband, and her husband got married, and she got out the military. He stayed in, and they had 2 children. Once all of this happened, he filed for a divorce from her. Note, she has been known to have a psychological issue. In the Army, she was known, like, it's documented that she had a problem when she was in the military. It's documented. It's also documented that this lady had other problems going on with her throughout the years that she was not in the military. So, it's something going on in her brain. With that being said, her defense attorneys have decided, along with the aid of, I'm not going to say her defense attorneys, the prosecution has decided to allow the defense to prove that this woman is insane. So what they're going to say is the prosecution in, I want to say this happened, Florida. This happens in Florida. Now, we're going to watch this case. I want y'all to watch this. Y'all, people, watch this case. Because this is a case in Florida. This woman shot both of her children after purchasing a weapon. 3 days, the same week she purchased this weapon, she killed them kids. Okay, so she killed the kids, and then now they're trying to say that she's insane. So you have to prove that without a doubt, this woman, when she pulled the trigger, she was insane. Go apply for a weapon, buy the weapon, register the weapon, wait for the weapon to come, pick the weapon up, bring the weapon home, wait for your kids to say something else, and then bam, the weapon registered. You were sane enough to wait until your husband wasn't there. You were sane enough to wait the days to get the, because you could, don't go there with me. She could have strangled them, she could have smothered them, she could have poisoned them, but she chose to use a gun. So I'm not understanding what insanity, how they gonna prove this, but we're gonna watch. They had, I think it was jury selection this week been going on. So the opening statement should be, I think, Monday or so. Maybe I'm a few days late, but yeah. So the trial is set to start, or has started. This trial has started, and she's up for 2 counts of first-degree murder. The next thing I want to talk about is the Alexis Murphy trial. I did a video last week or the week before about Alexis Murphy, the teen from here in Virginia who has been missing, and they have decided to say that she's dead. And now the guy that killed her is on trial. It started on my Wednesday, the 1st, and they did jury selection, and now we're waiting for the opening statements, and for the prosecution to get their side of the situation. So apparently they found blood, and it's been said that they found blood in the guy's house, and the blood that was in his house matches the victim, Alexis Murphy. That's all I know. We're gonna wait. The jury, the thing about the jury, it is 7 women and 5 men. And this is kind of a tidbit of information. I'm not an expert in jury selection, but with this being such the prosecution, the prosecution could come out and win this simply because of the way the jury is set up. It's five men and 7 women. In order for the defense to win, the instructions to the jury are going to have to be something badass, because that's how, in my opinion, that is how Zimmerman got off the hook with Trayvon Martin's death. In my opinion, that's how Michael Dunn, or whatever his Michael Dunn, I don't know, Dunn was able to get off with the killing of the other Florida teen. I cannot remember his name to save my life. That's my opinion. The instructions to the jury, because without a doubt, Zimmerman did it. You know what I'm saying? He said I did it. He said it multiple times. Yes, I did this. But the instructions that were given to the jury were very specific, and they had to do their jobs. And their job was to follow the directions. And in the directions, because they were so specific, it was no room to say that he did not do what they're saying. I don't see how they was able to do it, but the directions were very specific, and I understand how it could have gone. It could have gone a different way, but hey, whoever wrote them, that redhead dude, he on something. He was forced to be reckoned with. So yeah, it's 5 men, 7 women. And it's probably female heavy because this is a case about a missing female who was in the height of her life, who had her life, a beautiful life ahead of her, and it was taken short. So we are to assume, because we have not found a body, we have not found any, there has not been any new leads to anyone seeing Alexis Murphy after the date that she was just not discovered missing, but after she was proclaimed to be missing. So yeah, and then I got another case. So I was just reading this, and I posted this on my Facebook page. In California, I want to say the university, let me pull it up because I'm going to talk. 3 California students. This is what the MSN Crime and Justice report says, and this was by the Associated Press. The San Jose State University has expelled 3 students accused of bullying and tormenting their black roommate by putting a bike lock around his neck and calling him derogatory names. But we ain't hear that on, I ain't see that on no news ticker. Did y'all? I'm just asking. So, freshman Donald Williams was in a room with some students, and they started calling him names and putting a lock around his neck and all this crazy stuff. So he sued the school millions of dollars. I don't know how the outcome was of that is. But yeah. One of the boys was 19, and he was the only one that was not expelled. So it was 4 boys that did this, and it was 3 boys that were expelled. And so yeah. So hey, whoever said racism is not alive, it is alive, and it is well. And as long as you and I have air to breathe and people have air to breathe, racism is going to be here. Because I'm not going to say racism is going to exist. Discrimination will always happen. Right now, when I was a freshman at Morgan State University, go Bears. Yeah. When I was a freshman at Morgan State, one of my teachers told me this. She said this. She said, do not forget where you come from. Because today, it may seem as if we are not being bothered. But we are not that far from the bottom of the totem pole. And when she was saying this, it was during the time where they were talking about like the immigration rules and how Mexicans were coming over to the country and just, getting all these educational benefits. And basically the people were picking at the Mexican immigrants. And now the gays have it. The gays are catching slack because they want to get married and they want to have all the rights that married people have, and they just don't want people to bother them, and they don't want to be picked at, and all of the other things that come with being discriminated against. Black people, you ain't that far. You might think that you because you know what I'm saying, straighten your hair. And I'm not knocking people that get perms. I used to get perms, but I don't. Because you do all of this other stuff, that means that that means that you are getting ahead. But to be honest, we have come very far. We have, but we still got some going to go. It's still some years to go. And I remember that every time I'm having a conversation and every time I'm doing something, you have to remember that in order for something to change, you have to change it.